Hello everyone, my name is Jean and today we are building the Peafowl habitat. At first I tried to lay the path so that the guest would be able to walk everywhere since I am building this with the game unpaused. And yeah, after I had the path connected everywhere, I had some issues with some animals. I think you will see this quite often until I am able to go through every habitat and make it so the animals would really have the right place, the right space, and everything in their habitat will be fine. Before I get to that point, I think this will be something we have to see in every episode, or maybe you would like me to just cut it out if that's more to your liking. I can do that as well, but I personally think it just makes everything seem a little bit more dynamic, so you can see how often I have issues with this zoo while I'm building. So yeah, just let me know. So the first time I had the Peafowl habitat, or the original habitat, was just a habitat surrounded with glass walls, and that's it. And for this time I wanted to change that. I wanted to have two viewing areas. One when you go from the entrance area into the zoo exactly to the left, so you can just watch them there. And if you are going to the other habitats, you will have also on your left the opportunity to view them again. And I don't want it to have peafowls with glass barriers, because let's be honest, in every zoo I was to, peafowls just roamed the area freely. I think I only ever was in one zoo where they actually had some sort of habitat for them. So I just wanted to kind of emulate that by at least not having glass barriers, like there are some vicious animal that you need the guests to be protected from. So that's why I only did some bamboo pieces as sort of like a little fence. And now you can see me deciding that all the rest of the habitat should be not visible. And in my experience, the guests always try to look through the null barriers, and that's honestly kind of annoying, because of course you can see the animal if there's a rock blocking your way, but because I used the null barrier, you don't see this as something where you can see through. That's extremely annoying, so I put everywhere where the guests shouldn't be able to see through, I put wood barriers. Now I am getting the animals in there and realizing that I have a current disease in my zoo, and that I didn't have any research for the animals done, so that was something I need to worry about, and that's something I let run in the background while I was building. And yeah, because I had decided to put the wooden barriers everywhere instead of the null barriers, so that the guest would actually only see or try to see the animals only where I think they would be able to see them, I needed to block the view so they don't see the wood barriers. And yeah, I decided again to use some kind of bamboo pieces just to make the wooden barriers not visible. The thing with that is that I'm not quite sure. I think you could be able to make the whole wooden barrier non-visible by putting it into the bamboo pieces, but in my experience they always stick on one side of the barrier out of the bamboo pieces. So in the end it was a little bit of a challenge to do this, so that I would say, okay, that's okay, I can just cover the pieces where you can see, and that's what I'm doing right here. I can just cover it with bamboo, with real bamboo, the plant, not the wooden pieces, But yeah, then after a while I decided to just do this here and there and do the rest just with other plants, so it's a little bit more of a very variable, so it doesn't look all the same. So then I did a little bit of a pond. Then I realized the pond is always dirty, so I put the water treatment there, and then I began building their shelter space, or at least that's what it's going to be in the end. At this moment in time, I just knew that I didn't want to have the bamboo pieces all around, so I just stick to my rocks. I really love these rocks, so you can prepare to see them a lot when I'm building my zoo. And yeah, and now I'm trying to build some shelter for the animals, and I had some really, really basic shelter for them in mind, but at first I wasn't really able to do this. As you can see, it took me a few trials and errors to get something that I would like and that I didn't find extremely dumb looking. So yeah, in the end it's just a roof that floats, and after a while I put some pillars. I think it's only in the end I put pillars down there, so it's not just a floating roof. And yeah, then I'm building the interior with first doing the overall terrain, and I must be honest here, I don't like the terrain in this biome at all. I think it just looks so it looks like it hasn't seen water enough, and it desperately just screams, I need water. And I don't particularly like this look, so I covered everything up with moss stones, I think the temperate stones, and the aquatic rocks I used earlier in the same color. But before I did that, I tried myself at having some kind of another shelter for the peafowls, but this time it's more like some Japanese, Asian-inspired theme. In the end, I deleted it because I couldn't quite figure out what I was doing and how I can make this look better than it does now. And yeah, I think it's for the better that I deleted these things. Yeah, then I had the idea, and I think it's really a really good idea, to just put all the animals on contraceptives, so I don't have to worry about inbreeding or getting more animals, so it's overcrowded in the habitats, so any more than it is already. So I think that was a brilliant idea, if I say so myself. So yeah, now you see me doing the shelter completely, so it is not just a floating roof. And yeah, now I needed to raise the wooden barriers that I previously put down, so I don't need to have such a high rock formation. But it turns out the guests will look over these small wooden barriers too, but you can't see anything because there are rocks, so I needed to raise it up. Yeah, and now I deleted all the rock formations I did for the shelter area, and I just built some little rock formation with the aquatic rocks. I put 2 peafowls left and right, so if it wasn't obvious enough that you can see peafowls roaming in there, you have 2 peafowl statues to remind you this is a peafowl habitat. Yeah, then I decorated these little rock formation with other rocks and with plants. And yeah, I went in with different plants. I know I put the bamboo, of course, everywhere. I put some rhododendron, I think it's called, some bracken, some... Okay, let's be honest here. I don't remember all the names of the of the plants I used, but I used a few. You can see them. I think that's already okay. So Yeah, because I didn't like the view of the original terrain, I just put rocks everywhere, and then I put the aquatic wooden planter thingies over that, so it looks like it would be some kind of terrain. I put some moss stones in between them just to make it look a little bit more natural, as well as the normal temperate rocks. I also put them in there, and yeah, that's kind of how all of this came together. In the end, I just needed to wait for the research to be completed because I didn't have anything to put in the peafowl habitat that counts as something that they can play with. And also, I realized the water regulator didn't have power, so I quickly changed that. And after that, I finally could get some enrichment items for the peafowls, and I put in the sprinkler, the slow feeder, the big feeder for them. I put a little bit out of view for the guests. I don't think that's optimal. I need to check if I can change that, and yeah, now I'm just doing a few finishing touches, and after that we will go straight into the cinematic shots. And I hope you liked this video. I know this was a little bit shorter, but yeah, it is what it is, and I just hope we will see each other next time. Bye!